there's really no telling what XRP could do because of how long it's been suppressed. Just like a spring, when you squeeze on that spring, you can make it really small, but the minute the pressure comes off, who knows where that spring's going to go. So for those reasons,
all right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin, back at it again with Tim Warren, who is the host, new founder of Coffe and Crypto, streaming every single day on YouTube. Tim, thanks for joining me again. We just talked about Bitcoin. Link for that down below, but thanks for coming back.
Oh, thanks for having me again, man. It's an absolute pleasure.
How do you think about investing in altcoins versus Bitcoin in this such a scary market? Are you avoiding altcoins or are you still trading them?
No, I'm starting. I actually more recently, in the last couple of weeks, got back into altcoins. There was a season during that bear market after we crossed below $35,000 that I actually began to move a lot of my holdings out of alts back into what I call the big three, and that's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. I think those are the big three. They've been the big three for a while, and I think down the road they're going to look that way. But I'm starting to expand back out a little bit and take advantage of some low prices because, again, we don't know if the bear market's necessarily over or not, but there are signs that it is potentially there. And I want to make sure I don't miss an opportunity. So I'm taking advantage of a good one right now. And if a better one opens up down the road, I'll take advantage of that as well.
I want to talk about XRP, Ethereum, and Cardano. To me, those are the ones I see. One has huge communities, but also a lot of them are doing stuff on the charts. So you pick one to talk about first, XRP, ETH, or ADA. Tell me what's happening.
Let's start on XRP. XRP has been really interesting. Let me go ahead and share my screen once again with you guys. XRP has been an interesting coin, and you're going to see a similar thing when I shift over to Ethereum as well. But you're going to notice we talked about, the last time I was here, we talked about Bitcoin and how Bitcoin was forming and still technically within a descending triangle with a flat level of support, and we're still hovering in a zone near that bottom. When you move over to XRP, and you'll see this with Ethereum as well, there's actually a split in this bottom zone, and XRP within the last couple of weeks moved into an upper realm. And what I mean by that, if I were to put up my fixed range volume profile, you'll see that there's a fat amount of volume right here, but then it begins to kind of wean off and get smaller. And then there's a gap where it gets a little smaller. And XRP has actually climbed over this little, we call it a valley when I'm doing it. That's probably not the technical term for it, but now it's actually operating in a new level that's not as fat as this lower one, but it definitely is picking up some significance where there's significant amount of trading happening right here at the price of about 47 cents. Currently, XRP is on the top end of it. And what it's working on currently is bounced and found support on this middle zone that separates these two zones and is heading up, breaking bullish out of a symmetrical triangle pattern. Let me zoom into the 4-hourly chart and talk about the significance of this symmetrical triangle pattern. When you're looking at these patterns, the breakout prediction is never necessarily perfect, but you take the openings of the gap and you move them over to the breakout point. So that's where that red line is coming from. This is giving us a price prediction on XRP that potentially we could see it climb as high as 65 cents, almost pushing towards 68 cents. But there's a couple of things to keep an eye on here. That's just a call. In a longer time frame on XRP, you do want to keep your eye on what happens when we get back to this descending level of resistance, this red line that's coming down. This formation we have currently in this is a longer time frame descending trading channel where we're not converging in price action. We actually are keeping almost the exact same split. So I'm going to be very interested to see, can XRP get through not only that descending level of resistance, but this former level of support. And if I extrapolate this line all the way over, this level is very significant because it has not only been support before, it has also served as resistance. So a lot of technical analysts like to look at these flat levels and really view these as championship levels, where if we, when we were above it, the bears were saying, can we break through that level at 60 cents? If so, we'll gain some traction. Well, now that we're below it again, the question is, can we break back through it? And if the answer is yes, that could lead to a nice rally for XRP. And I know we are expecting it with the suppression they've had with that lawsuit, but just from looking at the charts perspective, if we break through it, this could send us back up towards the peaks we had here around $1.88. So really excited about what's happening with XRP. It's got a little ways to go on the charts, but the bullish momentum that it started here a couple of weeks ago is looking like it has potential to continue on. And if so, watch out, all of you XRP holders. You could be very, very satisfied with your purchases down here around 33 cents.
I want to know conviction level for XRP and the path potential that you laid out. Are you in an open trade right now with XRP, or are you waiting? Do you not have that conviction yet for yourself?
No, so XRP is probably not going to be one that I trade. It is one that I'm going to hodl and just let it ride. Especially with the confusion happening. I'll go ahead and stop sharing for just a second. The confusion happening right now in the court case is going to keep things a little bit, it's going to keep things a little bit on your toes. You're not really going to be very sure when things are happening. We've been saying for year now, over a year, we think that this trial might be coming to a close. I did hear that there's a rumor we could be seeing it come to a close here in the next 6 months, but who knows if Gary Gensler continues to try to go after them. And this can be a real big battleground for all of cryptocurrency, as the precedence of whatever is decided will more than likely be the use for every other crypto in the future. So no matter what happened, I'm rooting for XRP. But I think the price has been suppressed for a long time now because of that lawsuit and the fact that a lot of exchanges delisted them for fear of finding themselves in the crosshairs of the SEC. Once we see more clarity, and I believe that's starting to come back into perspective, there's really no telling what XRP could do because of how long it's been suppressed. Just like a spring, when you squeeze on that spring, you can make it really small, but the minute the pressure comes off, who knows where that spring is going to go. So for those reasons, I'm not looking to trade and get in and get out. At this point, I'm just saying, how much can I get in?
Really? So
yeah.
Oh my God, you're an XRP bull, which is obviously, I agree with you. They have been suppressed and we'll see. Yeah. So you're saying that XRP is more of your hodl position as opposed to a trade position.
Absolutely. Because you never know. You just never know when that spring's going to be released. And now I will say, as much as I'm an XRP bull and I believe in XRP long-term, I think it's going to be one of the biggest cryptocurrencies for the rest of its existence. I'm not as bullish as some. Like I've heard some people say as soon as the lawsuit is over, as soon as everything's done, we could see it almost like within the first couple of weeks, 20x. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. There is some suppression that happened that XRP is going to have to work a very long time to get back, because even though a lot of people, maybe like you and I and people that do their research on XRP, know that a lot of the accusations made about it are false, there still is a large amount of community that does not like XRP and still believing some of the lies about them. And that's not going to just change overnight just because they win the lawsuit. People, sometimes it's hard to change people's minds. And if someone has pre-decided that they hate XRP, by the way, I used to be one of them. You guys went back and look at my channel over a year ago. I did not like XRP because I believed some of those lies, but I listened to someone who disagreed with me. And I took the chance to say, could I change my mind on this? And sure enough, I absolutely did. But I know there's others out there that did not change their mind. So that's my only concern for XRP, that it won't be able to explode the way some believe it will.
Tim, final question for this interview. And again, all your links are down below. Encourage the audience to check it out. Heavily requested that we take a look at ADA and Ethereum, of which I know there are holds for you as well. And I do read the comments. Yes. So if the audience has something else, we're going to be checking down below for our next video. But ADA and Ethereum, do you have any charts?
All right. You see it now?
Yes.
All right, very good. So I'm going to show you guys with the Cardano chart. It's similar to Bitcoin. We talked about the last time I was on here, where we're in a descending triangle, which is long-term bearish. And you have to be aware that we could have a breakout to the downside. But in the same boat of the question I asked about Bitcoin, is this flat bottom actually just showing you how strong holders are, that they refuse to give up this gap? On a shorter timeline, if you're looking at the 4-hourly chart and down, we're actually forming a falling wedge pattern that at the moment that we're recording this, we're still hovering in this resistance zone. But if we break out, could send us from a technical standpoint all the way back up towards 49 cents. And then there's those that believe, when you're looking at the fundamentals and the fact that, again, kind of similar to XRP, Cardano has been a little bit suppressed with uncertainty, but we all know the fundamentals on it are so strong. It's another one that I'm not trading necessarily, because I do not want to pick a point on this chart to say, oh, I'm going to take my profit on this one. I want to leave myself open for a massive explosion in Cardano. And I'm not talking about getting back to $3. I think we got a little bit of time before we hit a new all-time high on Cardano. But this time when Cardano hits its new all-time high, it's not going to be based off of hype. It's going to be because they have proven themselves as one of the greatest cryptos out there. So that's my thoughts about Cardano. We're still down, but definitely not out. And there's a lot of bullish days ahead of us. Ethereum, similar to what I was talking about with XRP, is different than other cryptos like Cardano and Bitcoin, where they're kind of still hovering close to the bottom level. XRP and Ethereum kind of set themselves a new zone. So let me pull up this fixed range volume profile for you guys. And you're going to see there's two different pockets here that we're looking at. There we go. There's this pocket down here suppressing us below 1,300, give or take. And then we come all the way down here to about 1,000. This was a zone we traded in significantly between June and July. But right here in the later stages of July, we broke through. Right now, we're hovering right in that middle defining gap between the two places. And there's a lot of bullish action happening on Ethereum as it's looking currently on these smaller timeframes to be breaking out of symmetrical triangle pattern. This former resistance currently being used as support with the price prediction back up at 1,568, which would take us back up to a resistance level of a falling trading channel, just like XRP in a longer time frame. And that prediction would send us back up. If we break bullish out of that zone, that could send us all the way back up to 2,000. So right now, when you're pairing all of these things, when you're looking at the space as a whole, there's a lot of bullish narratives on the charts. There is potential for bearish as well. But when you look at the sentiment in the space, when you look at confidence coming back in, when we look at reports such as, I think this last 2 weeks, we've seen $1 billion come into the crypto space in Bitcoin and Ethereum alone. I think there's a lot of people about to take advantage of these cheap crypto prices. And we should definitely be looking to the upside right now over the next couple of weeks.
Okay, so for both ADA and ETH, you said
Yes.
a potential breakdown maybe in the works for ADA short term, but obviously long-term bullish. And for ETH, a potential breakout, but still an overall downward trend until that's broken out of.
Yeah. So yeah, good choice of wording. Trends. I'm not quite certain if the crypto space is ready yet to break. If I were to go out to the weekly chart, I'm not sure if we're ready to break bearish trends just yet. Technically speaking, to break bearish trends, we got to confidently get back up above $2,000 on Ethereum. That might take a little bit more time, but I think a short-term bull rally could send us back up towards that level to continue to move sideways. Same thing with Cardano. If we're going to talk about breaking a bear trend, it's got a much harder task ahead of it. Cardano would have to surpass $1.25 or so before I could confidently say it's in a good, strong bull trend. What I'm talking about right now is a short-term, it's kind of what we call a secondary bull trend happening, where we could see prices get back up maybe into the 60s. And if we're having a lot of momentum go, maybe potentially all the way up to $1.
All right. I love it. Tim, thanks so much, man. If I would love to have you back on, by the end of the year for sure. We'll revisit some of these charts.
Absolutely.
Final thoughts on XRP, Cardano, and ETH for the Altcoin Daily Army.
Final thoughts. When I'm investing in these coins, I do get a little bit of a tear in my spirit. Bitcoin to me is where my heart really is. What it stands for, the decentralized aspect of it, the concept of fixing money in a way that money has not been fixed for a very long time. It really, really pulls at me and makes me want to invest there. But I also have to remember that there's a lot of narratives out there that are negative about Bitcoin and its energy usage. And that's what makes these projects like XRP, Ethereum, and Cardano so attractive to institutions ready to invest, because they're going to see the low energy output and think, well, this will make me look a lot friendly in the climate section. So even though long-term my heart pulls towards Bitcoin, I know investing wise, there's great opportunities in cryptocurrencies like these three I just mentioned that could make it outpace Bitcoin long-term.
Awesome. Great perspective. And again, a reminder to our audience, Aaron and I will be in Dubai for the next week at the Future Blockchain Summit conference, linked down below. Join us if you're there. But Tim, thanks so much.